Yo, what's up? We are well within the New York session as of now. As per usual, London was not good. London hasn't been all great these past few days, right? Heavy on the bullish side, and then 9, 9, 9, 10. This is really tough to follow because you get this tiny sweep up there, so really I wouldn't be wanting to follow in there, even though it looks like it worked out, but I wouldn't be wanting to follow in there, right? But after yesterday, like I did say, where we've come into this 4-hour POI, then you would imagine that Euro JPY, the swing pullback, may be done, and then we have another swing run. And then there you have it. You have your swing run. As of now, we are not yet out of this bigger 1-hour range. I would like to see that go, and then I would be happy on the 4-hour to say we are actually like really bullish at that point, right? Because we have been stuck within this larger internal range. But as of this session, really nothing in here. I think really nothing in here unless you want to be like aggressive, right? If you want to be aggressive, maybe you want to follow within here on the M15, but only if we can get market go up higher, close above this, so it's not just a sweep and then the market comes into here. It's more likely to sweep than hold. So if we do get it go higher, then we come back into here, but there would be a chalk within here, so we would need to see a strong liquidation like this on the M15, right? And then once it comes back in here, we are pretty much looking for the buys, something like this, which is if you have the eye, you can see this pattern here, right? Is the exact same one here where you have it come down, here, it comes up, it comes down, we have it create this high, and then it sweeps there. Even though it is micro pips, a sweep is a sweep, and then you have that, right? Look at that, same exact pattern. It's just this forms on a larger scale. This just forms on a larger scale, right? Because you do have a sweep here. If you were to check this candle, the low is 161.720, and this one, the low is 161.713, right? By 7 pips or whatever. I don't know how many pips it would be, but the fact is it's a sweep of the low. It does create this kind of a pattern, right? So we use that. This is the exact same. Oh shit! It's the exact same thing we'd look for as a continuation within here, because we are looking to be aggressive. So at least you want to see a strong liquidation into here. And moving on, Euro USD, we do have some development finally. After a whole week within this range, we break out of this internal range. Finally come into the swing extreme. Right, this is the extreme of the swing. So hopefully we start to see a lot better bullish price action, and then we look for the buys, even though the much higher probability buys, as I will show you on GU next, are after you get this internal high breaking like that. After you get that internal high breaking, then the bullish trades are much higher probability. but as of now, at least we have swept this. There really isn't any good structure, I would say, in here. Like, some people can possibly find trades in here. I think also the experience and what you're looking for differs from person to person. So the way I look at it, there's really nothing in there for me now. So we're just patient as per usual. And GU, like I was saying, is a lot better in terms of formation, right? We've come into the extreme, we've swept this 4-hour zone, which is also not good, right? It's good, it's bad at the same time, because if you have, okay, but this is not the extreme, right? The extreme zone would be this one down here. Oh, actually, never mind. So I stand corrected. This is good because you swept this zone here, but you've come into the actual extreme, right? This was the actual extreme zone. You've come into the actual extreme. Now we want to see a 4-hour chalk. Remember, a chalk is the first sign that the bullish swing could come in again, right? But how do we follow that on the M15? So on the M15, we have swept the zone, liquidity taken, mitigation of this 4-hour here, right? Now, as you can see, the market starts looking very bullish, right? These small internal structures are starting to break. Whatever small 15-minute zones in here are starting to fail. But for the higher probability trades, you want to wait for this high to go, right? You want to wait for the high to go and then follow what is left in here, whether it be the extreme or whether it be a good formation within here. It could be up here, it could be here, but point is, then you just start looking for the buys within here, targeting the swing high. So I think GU looks a little bit more favorable than EU because the internal of EU is way up there compared to GU, which is much closer. This could get swept even today, tomorrow, right? Then next week, your expectation would be still to play the buys on GU. And then Mr. USD CAD, we finally got a break of structure here, but like I did say yesterday, these types of break of structures, in my experience, where it breaks but immediately pulls back in, they're not very sustained, right? And lo and behold, it immediately pulls back in to this 4-hour tiny mitigation, leaving liquidity right here with these equals. Equal highs are liquidity waiting to be swept, right? Similar to LQ, this is just waiting to be swept. So my expectation is for the market to move in here, maybe possibly into this 15, maybe possibly into this 15-minute zone, right? When it does come in here, obviously you want to see a chart before you start looking for the trades, right? Chalk is good, but a strong liquidation is even better, where you'd have it come up, right? Create a low, create a high, sweep the low, and then this high that swept the high, that swept the low gets swept, right? Then this is a strong liquidation, and this is now higher probability. This is now higher probability to look for trades within there. Okay, yeah, but for now we'll just monitor this and see what happens. And yeah, peace. It's recording. For some reason, I have begun recording the end of day process. Process. Okay, yep, it's the end of the day. This is why I need an intro. One day I'll get an intro, so I just skip to the good part where I'm actually just getting this shit done instead of wasting up 30 seconds on nothing, basically. Yeah, okay. We've got EJ. expectation New York was to have it break this, right, come back in here, and then we follow, and the market does what the market does as always, right? Just small sweep in there, then even come back in here and it's gone. So that's EJ for the end of the day. And just like a broken record, yeah, we wait some more and more waiting, you know. Okay, USD, after breaking out of what was this big range right here, we've come and created a smaller internal range, right? With this, I'm starting to think this 4-hour might go. I'm starting to think the 4-hour internal low might actually go. That's where my thoughts are right now. Then if it does go, good. I think any movement is better than this range bound movement we've had. So if this does go, then in the coming days, obviously maybe a pullback into here or here, but overall we're looking to come into this daily zone. So for now, okay, we're not trading anymore obviously, but tomorrow I won't be trading as well. So coming into next week, hopefully tomorrow we do have a break either on the downside or the internal structure switching bullish, and then we look to follow that into the swing high here if this swing low does hold, right? If the swing low holds, it's strong, then we would target the weak swing high. And then moving on to GPUSD, expectation at the time there was a swing high over here, not a swing high, an internal high over here. My expectation was for the break of that, and then we come back into the swing range and then follow that, and the market does what the market does, right? We start off creating new eyeballs, and then currently we are within this internal range here, same as Euro USD. It's a deeper mitigation of the 4-hour. Then if it does break this high, I think that's, for me right now, the highest probability I would say is to wait for a break up here, then we follow that up, or a break below, and then at some point look to play the pullback into maybe this internal range and potentially deeper into the swing pullback. And then last but certainly not least, we do have USD CAD. And on USD CAD, I did signal there was equal highs here during New York, and as expected we did have a sweep of these highs. I think maybe I was a little bit scared, you know. Maybe I was a little bit scared of the market here, because if you look at this, right, let me switch off the magnet. But it's annoying because it's all this iffy price action, and then if you take a loss in there, you probably feel a little bit dumb. But anyway, this forms like an internal structure, right? We have this low, right, that swept liquidity there. We have a low, and then this inside bar here did create a low, right, by sweeping this. Even though this is like internal structure, it kind of does matter, right, to a certain degree. And then we have the flip here, and then the flip does create a high right there, and then the flip gets tested, right, with this candle over here. It gets tested, it moves up, do that, right, it moves up. This internal zones in here not as strong as this one that mitigated this here. It was after a strong high, right, compared to this just being a reaction off of here. you probably don't want to trade this compared to this zone here, and lo and behold, my expectation was for these equal highs to go right. So now, who's to say, coming into this pivot over here, why couldn't I have looked to play the buys into these equal highs? Because you've left liquidity here that needs to be swept, right? So stuff like this, I think, for future reference. Okay, wait, actually first let's see on the M5 if I do get, okay, on the M5 you don't get a strong liquidation following this, or do you? You actually do, man. Because this is a high, right? Then there's a chunk there. Actually, the first chunk was here, it moves up, it comes down, it sweeps that. So the sweep of this, oh my god, the sweep of this here is a strong liquidation. So it comes down, and on the M5 you would have gotten your entry within here. There was no early entry invalidation. So actually there was potentially a trade within here going up. Damn. Okay, I guess. Can I leave something here? Just come back to this. Come back to this. This is an anchor text, right? Should stay here. Okay, yeah. Oh fuck, it's not what I think. What I want. What I want is this. Right here. Come back to this. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave that there because anyway, I won't be here tomorrow. Then I'll just come back to this on the weekend. We'll touch on this. I think this is like halfway decent setup because you are looking for buys, even though the yeah, I wouldn't say it's like counter the swing, obviously, right? The swing is going down. Obviously it's counter swing because you're buying when the swing is bearish. But if you add up all the things I was talking about, of like the sweep of this, immediate sweep comes back in, it's more likely to buy, right? You come into a 4-hour POI and then you have the tiniest of mitigations like this, and then it moves on down. I think you have a decent probability trade actually into here, more especially because it left the equal highs. I think this was actually worth looking into, and it was within session, right? Okay, yeah, for future reference, then stuff like this, there's stuff like this that could help, you know. Yeah, but okay, maybe one day I'll watch this back. And should I watch these back? I'm not sure. I don't know. But okay, I'll touch on this on the weekend and then just add it to my Notion, part of like good setups, right? Those I'll review on a monthly basis as well, where just look at the trades I missed during the month. I think that's also good because it also should boost confidence somewhat, because it helps you also realize that the strategy's performance is okay. The only thing is you as a trader need to fix the discrepancy between your level of performance and the strategy's performance, right? But we'll crunch the numbers on Saturday, and then we'll take it from there. And then this May just started, right? It's the first today. Yeah, we'll try and minimize on the mistakes we made in April. I think that's the best way to progress, right? Because you're here to make progress, man. So yeah, okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it And yeah, peace.